Hi everyone, good morning. Martha Ermias here, coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio. I'm so sorry today, I am a couple of minutes late. So how's everybody doing? Today is Friday, the last day of the week, and I hope that, hi Doitom, good morning, how are you? Hey Mulgeta, nice to see you here, how are you? I hope that everybody had a great week as we're wrapping up the week and just coming to an end of it. And again, my name is Martha Ermias from Columbus, Ohio, entrepreneur. I'm very, very passionate about three things. Entrepreneurship, personal growth, and a contribution are my three passions. Let me see, I think I'm looking at not the camera, but the wrong side of, yeah. Sorry guys, the camera is this way today. So today I will be talking about one other success tip that I can share with you. And this is really about creative thinking, okay? Being a creative thinker is actually one of the things that really can help us be successful in life. And I want to share with you, before I start, I want to share with you something about creative thinking that I used to think. Hi Eden, nice to see you here. Hey Daniel, good to see you. So yeah, so a few years back, I really had labeled myself. Hey Dawitom, nice to see you here. So I had really labeled myself as non-creative, okay? I really thought I wasn't really creative. And the reason I thought that was because I thought creativity meant creating something, being innovative and creating something that never existed before. So in my career, I've seen myself, work on things that already existed. I felt like I was always a good follower, and if I see something, then I can duplicate it. But I never thought that I was kind of like someone that initiates something or creates something new. Okay, so for that reason, I thought I wasn't creative. And I actually remember telling one of my mentors a few years back, telling him that I'm not creative. You know, I'm just not creative. I can duplicate something, but I'm just not creative, okay? But, you know, as time went on and as I started reading books and stuff like that, I started to understand that actually creativity doesn't always mean creating something new in the areas of science or art or literature and things like that. You know, improving anything and finding solution and bringing solution to already existing innovations is actually creativity as well. And to be honest, I'm a big problem solver. I always try to solve problems, which means that I'm actually creative, and I didn't even know about that. So the reason I'm sharing this with you guys today is because maybe just like I was, a lot of you may think that you are not creative. But you probably truly are. And I think from the core of my heart, I really believe that we all have creative powers that we really don't exercise as much as we can and as much as we should. But why do we even talk about creativity? Because creativity is really essential for someone's success. Because you have creative power to overcome any barriers, to solve problems and do things better. And that's when your success is going to be pretty much guaranteed, because you are always solving problems and creating solutions to your problems. So it's very important that we strengthen and develop our creative power. And sometimes it's just because we don't even realize that we're creative. We label ourselves as non-creative and we don't even work on it. So what I will be sharing with you guys today is how we can strengthen and how we can develop our creativity so that we are more successful in everything that we do. Okay, so how do we develop and strengthen our creativity? There's 6 things that we're going to be talking about today. Number 1, you have to believe, first of all, that it can be done. This is very powerful. Our thoughts are very powerful. First of all, our mind is very powerful. Whatever you believe, your mind is going to try to either put you to work because you believe something can be done, or is going to bring more data, more information to make you believe or to justify that it can't be done. So your belief is the beginning of anything that you can or you cannot do. Actually, the Henry Ford, the founder of the car company, has a very famous saying or famous quote that he said, and it's if a man says he can, he's right, and if a man says he can't, he's right both times, because the person who says I can do it will actually be able to do it because they believe they can, and the person that says I can't do it will definitely not be able to do it, because the mind will bring all kinds of reasons as to why that person cannot do it. So the first step to be able to strengthen your creative power is to believe that it can be done. And this is something that I practice a lot. I always tell myself, I'm sure there's a solution, I just haven't found it yet. Okay? Whenever you're faced with obstacles or big problems or things that seem like you really can't solve, this is something you can always tell yourself. The solution is out there, you just haven't found it yet, which means that it can be done, it can be solved, you know, everything will work out. It's just that at this time, you haven't really found it yet. Hi, Masarat. Hi, Adisu. Good to see you guys here. All right, so if this is making sense, please give me a thumbs up. Hi, Najat. Good to see you. Give me a thumbs up or a comment or anything if you're liking this, okay? All right, so if you believe you can, the mind goes to work to make it happen for you. And if you don't believe that you can, the mind goes to work to justify why it cannot be done. So really, your thought process is really going to dictate whether you can do something or not. So one of the things that we could do in terms of, and I'm a big believer of vocabulary, the words that you say, really, really affect your life, what you can do, what you can't do. And we really have to be careful about the words we say and the vocabulary, whether we say it or not, the words we think about as well. For example, like you have to eliminate words like impossible. Even if it seems impossible, you have to eliminate that word from your vocabulary and from your words as well. Won't work. It won't work. This word, it won't work. You continue to say that, it definitely won't work. But if you start to eliminate that word and say, I'm sure it will work, it will start to work. And the third word is, I can't do it. Can't. The word can't, you know? Sometimes it's a habit. Sometimes it's a habit. And, I have a mastermind group that I participate in, and I'm a big believer of using the right words and the wrong words. And one of the members has a habit of saying, I can't. And it's not even like about big things that he can or he cannot do. But he would say that, well, I can't have enough time for this. I can't, he just keeps saying, I can't. And I caught him, I kind of, mentioned it to him. He said, you just keep saying, I can't. That's a habit. And then he's going to say it even in the wrong time, at the wrong time too. So sometimes they call me word police. That's what they call me, because I always point out the words that we should be saying and we should not be saying. And obviously that person started to becoming conscious about it, and it kind of started to help him. But impossible, don't work, won't work, can't, those are the words that we need to start paying attention to when we say them or when we think them, and we need to start taking them out of our vocabulary, because they will dictate the way we think whether something is possible or not, and affect our success in the process as well. Hey Emmanuel, Dawit, good to see you guys here. Thank you for chiming in. Second thing we could do to develop or strengthen our creative thinking is number two, do not let tradition paralyze your mind and be receptive to new ideas. Now, tradition and status quo and the way things were, the way things should be, kind of thinking makes us not very open-minded, okay? And if you're not open-minded, it's very hard to find new ways of doing things or new ways of solving problems, which means creativity is actually the opposite of the status quo. You know, you're being creative because you're coming up with new solutions. So you can't be creative and not be open-minded. So if we find ourselves being not open-minded, you know, a lot of times the reason why we're not open-minded is because it shakes our comfort, you know. Keeping the status quo or the way things were is also a comfort area for a lot of us. You know, you just stay in a comfort zone, and we all don't like to be outside of the comfort zone. Because of that, we become very close-minded and not be open to new ideas or new ways of doing things. So being stuck in tradition or being stuck in you know, like status quo is actually another thing that can hinder our creativity. So we've got to be open-minded. We have to be a little bit more experimental, and we got to try new things, and we have to always be open to see new approaches to how things are being done, because that's when solutions will come. That's when creativity will increase as well. Okay, third thing, one of my favorite ones, ask yourself daily, how can I do better? You know, and again, the questions we ask ourselves have a lot of power. You know, we're always asking ourselves questions, whether it's a good question or a bad question. If it's a good question, like how can I do better? Now the mind starts to work on finding ways how we can do better. But if we start questions like, and a lot of times, okay, bad questions come from past experience. We say, okay, last time I tried this, it didn't work. I've never done it before. I've never seen anybody, so how can I ever do it? You see the difference? It's already giving some data why it's impossible, and then asking the question, how can I do it? Now, the answer to that, the mind is going to bring and say, well, it's something that you can't do. Or we could say, oh, I'm not educated, or I didn't grow up in the right side of town. How can I ever be this? That question is going to bring answers that are more self-limiting. So we have to be careful the kind of questions that we ask ourselves. Instead, and then creativity is about the future. Creativity is about creating something new. The kind of questions, the bad kind of questions that we're asking, it's about the past. It's about, this is how it was. This is what the past is like. So anything different is not going to exist in the future, is what we're saying. So creativity, because creativity is about the future, our questions need to be only about the future. Ignore the past or whatever we were thinking about, and then we need to ask, how can I, from today on, how can I make it better? What is it that I can do to change the situation? You know, when you ask those questions, your mind starts to come up with brilliant ideas and brilliant solutions. The best way to find out if this is true or not is really to give it a try. If you guys give it a try, you will become very creative. And I'm sure that all of us have found ourselves being creative in specific situations. Maybe it could be at work, or resolving a conflict situation, or, you know, anything like that. I am sure that we all have experienced and found ourselves being creative in situations. But we have to be a little bit more intentional in our thinking process in order for us to continue to be creative and strengthen our creativity. That way we are building upon success and success and success, and we're always going in the positive direction. Not unintentionally, but intentionally we have to start doing that. So asking yourself daily, how can I do better, is also another way to develop your creative mind. And of course, there's no limit to self-improvement. You can always continue to improve yourself. Actually, I heard John Maxwell share this in a seminar, in a convention. He said that he's one of the people, like the biggest leadership experts of our time, and he said that he talks about learning, and one of the things that he said, that I will learn until the day I die. You know, self-improvement is a lifelong process, and we can always improve ourselves. How can I do it better? And when we engage in that process, first of all, our happiness and fulfillment increases, because progress always brings happiness, but we just have to be intentional about it. And also, even if we improve 1% every single day, can you guys imagine how much percent would be better next year? You know, every single day, if we think about how can I do better, then we're always improving, and a year later we'll find ourselves in a place where we didn't think we were going to find ourselves. So asking the right question every single day is also one other way to strengthen our creativity. And then the fourth one is, how can I do more? Okay, how can I do more? Now, we talked about how can I do better and how can I do more. Now, the key to success in business, and I'm sure this is clear to everybody, is doing better, a little bit better every single day, and basically improving the quality of your outcome, the quality of your product, the quality of your service every single day. At the same time, increasing the quantity of your service or product or outcome is also the key to success in business. So you have to do more of what you do good. You have to do more of it, but at the same time, you also have to do better job every single day. So in order for you to become more creative, you also have to think, how can I do more? And this, for example, this goes hand in hand with being very productive or being efficient. How can I increase the efficiency? Now, a lot of people I hear say that I'm too busy. I can't do more. I'm too busy. You know, that being busy is really a state of mind more than it really is a reality. Because, you know, and I've found myself saying those things, you know, and especially, for example, when I was about to start my business, I said, you know, I'm already too busy. How can I add anything else to my plate? And I did think that thought, but then I always try to question myself about my thoughts. So one of the things that I said is, okay, if I'm saying that I don't have 15 minutes to spare to build a side business, then I obviously must be someone who is leading a country, okay? Because if you feel like you're too busy, there is someone who is a lot more busier than you that is producing and becoming more effective in life a lot more than you, okay? There are CEOs that are doing like 5-10 things and being very effective in what they do. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's not how busy you are, it's really how you're managing your time and how productive you are and how efficient you are. And that's when we need creativity. We need creativity to utilize our time properly. That way we're producing more with less time. And that's really productivity, or doing things more efficiently. What takes someone an hour to do, it probably takes someone 10 minutes to do. The way they do it, how they think about it, how they go about it. So we can always do more. And if we ask ourselves, how can I do more? We definitely are our brain is going to go to work, and we're going to come up with solutions on how we can do more. And one of the things, I've shared this before, one of my goals for this year was to become more productive. Okay, I wanted to be more productive and efficient with my time. And it's been 2 months now. I've been working at it. And I'm just so blessed and happy to report that I've seen myself increase my productivity. I'm working less and producing more, and which is really what I wanted. So now I can even increase my volume to produce more, because I'm being more efficient with my time. So basically, we always have to ask ourselves, how can I do more? And we'll find the solutions and the reasons, the ways that we could do that. And that will increase our creative thinking as well. Number 5, practice, ask, and listen. Okay, practice, ask, and listen. A lot of times when we ask what other people think about an idea, if we practice that type of communication, as we're conversing with people, we'll get a light bulb moment, an aha moment. Something will come out of a conversation. But we have to be the kind of person that we are practicing more and listening as opposed to talking. You know, there was a quote that I read the other day. It said, small people monopolize talking, big people monopolize listening. Listening skill is very, very important. We have to be the kind of people that ask a lot of questions and listen to what other people are saying attentively. And as we listen more, then ideas will, even if the person that's talking really doesn't give us the actual answer, but ideas will pop up. But if we are more interested in sharing and just talking about things and everything, we're listening to ourselves, and we're not really gathering information from outside of ourselves that can help our creativity as well. Number 6, and which is the last one, is stretch your mind. Stretch your mind, meaning that associate with people that can give you ideas. Basically, people that are that have more than what you do in the area that you're trying to achieve success, whatever area that is. For example, if a couple are trying to better their marriage, what do they have to do? They have to associate with people who are very successful in their marriage, because they can learn from them. Or if somebody is really interested in becoming a real estate investor, what do they have to do? They have to associate with successful real estate investors and learn from them and listen from what they say and really understand how they think, how they make decisions and things like that. So when you associate yourself with experts in whatever area it is that you're trying to create success in, then your creative ability is going to be stronger. And one way is association is not just by in-person meeting. It could also be reading books in those areas, or going to seminars, or listening to podcasts and things like that is another way to associate yourself with experts in the area as well. Okay, so we talked about how you can improve your creative mind or strengthen your creative mind today, and strengthening your creative mind is going to help you create more success. And everybody, all of us, have the power to be creative, and we just have to practice it, and we also have to strengthen it, and we have to be very intentional about it. And we talked about 6 ways that we can actually increase our creative thinking. Number 1 is, first of all, believe that it can be done. Whatever problems that you have, know that the solution exists, you just haven't found it yet. Number 2, don't let tradition paralyze your mind. Be receptive to new ideas. Number 3, ask yourself daily, how can I do better? Number 4, ask yourself daily, how can I do more? Number 5, practice, ask and listen. Number 6, stretch your mind by associations. So that's about it for today, guys, and I appreciate you for being here today. Make sure that you enjoy your weekend. Have a great, fun weekend, and keep learning, keep improving yourself. Of course, if we all engage in personal development and personal growth, we will live a happier and more quality life. And if you find this message helpful, please go ahead and share it, and I do appreciate you for doing that. Until I see you guys on Monday, God bless you all and stay blessed. Bye-bye.